Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Jay Real. That outside that you see there, that's my EP3. And it's been down for about 2 weeks. So I'll tell you right now, the worst thing that you can do to your EP3 is to snap a wheel stud. And that's what I did. It was my fault. I am to blame. And so this video is kind of just to show you guys to talk about and what in my opinion is the most cost-effective way to go about fixing this, because this is a unique situation. So on these cars, if you snap a wheel stud, you can't just take the wheel off and then take the caliper off and then take the rotor off and then just pound the wheel stud out with the hammer. It doesn't work like that. Behind the wheel stud is the steering knuckle, and the steering knuckle has this really thick and tall bezel that goes around it. And so that prevents you from hammering that broken or stripped wheel stud out the back. Most cars, you just rotate, the wheel hub, and there will be a hole back there. You'll rotate it, line it up, hit it out with a hammer. This car, you do not have that option. So I took it to a shop here in town, and I said, hey, give me an estimate on what it's going to cost. He called me back and said it's going to be $457. The reason for that is because in order to do this, you've got to basically separate the hub from the bearing from the steering knuckle. And I don't have a hydraulic press. I can't do that myself. And even if you take it somewhere, they're going to tell you this. They're going to say, if I take all these apart, your bearing is going to be bad. I'm going to have to replace your bearing. And obviously, to get the hub off, you've got to separate your ball joint from your steering knuckle. And in which case, they're going to say, hey, well, we're going to need to replace the ball joint as well. Now, seeing as how I have already ordered hard race ball joints that I'm going to be putting in myself, I just can't justify someone putting on a new ball joint because they have to, because it's their job, because they're doing other things that are related to it, and then me taking the ball joint off when I get home to put mine in. And so I said, you know what, no thank you, I will figure this out and do this myself. So my first thought was to get an angle grinder, because if I use an angle grinder, I can essentially grind a groove on that knuckle bezel and hammer it out. But after I looked at it, I realized that I didn't want to do that because I don't want to compromise the integrity of the steering knuckle. These are very, I want to say, intricate parts in the sense that they all fit together, they all align together, and they have to do that in such a way that it functions and rolls correctly. That being said, I decided I'm not going to get an angle grinder. Also, I'm not going to need it for anything after that. Now, that would have been a cheap option though, right? I mean, you can get an angle grinder. You can get a decent 8 amp angle grinder for under $100, and then get a disc, whatever disc you want to get for it. So I started looking online for an entire wheel hub assembly, right? Because if I can get a wheel hub assembly with the bearing, the hub, the steering knuckle, the backing plate, and the lugs already in there, I can just take the old one off with the stripped lugs, or the broken wheel stud, I'm sorry, and put this on, and problem is solved. So I scoured eBay for days, and I found a scrapyard. They're like, I think they're called Complete Auto Recycling or Complete Recycling. Anyway, yeah, so they had a black EP3. And so I would just, send them a message. I said, hey, can you guys just yank the whole thing off and just send it to me? Don't do any extra work. Just pull the tire off, pull the caliper off, and just yank that puppy off and send it to me. And so I ordered that on Sunday. Today's Friday. I woke up and it was here. So the things that make this work, for one, I'm ordering a used part. This is coming off of a salvaged vehicle. And so that being said, the bearing has to be good, right? Because if the bearing's bad, I don't have a hydro press. I don't have a way to take the old one out and put a new one in. I don't have the tools here to do that correctly anyway. So the bearing has to be good. Obviously the wheel studs have to be good too. That means the threading can't be stripped, it can't be mashed down, they can't be broken or cracked, they have to be in good condition. And then the other third thing, and this could vary depending on your experiences if you've ever had to do this, some places will not send you the backing plate. Why, I don't know. Because on this particular assembly, to get the backing plate off, you've got to take the hub out of the steering knuckle to get to the screws that get the backing plate out. The backing plate's important because that obviously blocks the brake dust from getting up into your, my coilovers, for example, that I just paid almost $800 for. So I ordered the part, it's here. I woke up this morning and it arrived, and that's what I'm going to show you guys. So this is my fix to my wheel stud issue. So now they also included a wheel speed sensor, which was kind of overkill. I didn't need that, but that's fine. If it works, I might just sell it. But yeah, so they included that. And then obviously the studs, is it gonna focus? Let's try it this way. Nope, it can't really focus very well. Anyway, kind of hard to see, but these wheel studs are okay. Now there is a little bit of corrosion here, a little bit of surface rust, so it is what it is. I don't know if that's like leftover plumber tape down there, like I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna clean all that up. And they threw the brake rotor on there. That's technically an extra part, and they threw that on there. Now this is good because despite the surface rust, this one's actually better than the one that I had, so that's great. The bearing, I think the bearing's okay. It seems like when I turn it, it doesn't make, obviously it's sitting on paper. Seems to turn okay. I really hope that's okay. That's because that could potentially be a deal breaker. Also, I did buy the Square Trade warranty, so if for whatever reason I'm not satisfied, I can simply send it back. Although I really hope I don't, because that's another week of not having a vehicle. It's amazing how a snapped wheel stud can just screw everything up. Yeah, so obviously the studs are okay. I'm hoping that the bearing inside of here is okay. It spins. But ultimately, the real test is going to be getting it on the road and listening to it. Obviously, there's the tire test that I can do. But like I said, I'm going to have to get everything on before we make that assessment. And then if I flip it over, so yeah, there's the ball joint. They kind of just left that hanging on there, just chilling. But yeah, the backing plates here, that's a huge plus. Because some of the ones that I looked at online didn't have the backing plate. And yes, I mean, this is a decent part, guys. I mean, it's got, everything looks okay. Yeah, there's some surface rust, but you know what? If this can get my ride going and I can put my ball joints in and get everything going the way I planned before this happened, that'll be a huge plus. So yeah, that backing plate is kind of dented in down there. I don't know if the camera can see that, but it's a little dented in right there. But yeah, I'm gonna hit this with brake cleaner and get all this going, and we'll see how she goes. Also, before we end the video, I'll show you guys what I'm gonna use to replace my ball joints. So obviously, I mentioned in the last video, I've got these really nice hard race ball joints. So to put those in, I have to, oh, did I open that up upside down? Yeah, I did. That actually sucks. Oh well. Anyway, so I rented the Master ball joint puller kit from AutoZone. So yeah, everything's here. It's $150 to rent this. Still got some grease in there. Yeah, so everything's here. I got the master set just because, hey, why not be prepared? You know, have something for every size. So, because I know how that goes. So, anyway, so I've got that, and that's what I'm going to use to pull my ball joints out. Because I'm already going to have the hubs off on both sides, and I'm already going to have everything hacked up and hanging off. So, may as well tackle both sides of the vehicle and get that done. I did pick up a set of, these are electrical pliers. I got these because I'm going to need these to put my snap rings in. And if you look at the tips, is it going to focus? The tips are actually really fine on these, so I need those to put my snap rings on when I go to do the ball joints. I was looking for a tapered punch so that I can get my spindle, so that I can remove the bend from the spindle nut when I go to loosen the axle nut. But they didn't have one, so I got a nail set. Hopefully this works. I think last time I used a screwdriver and I literally broke the head of the screwdriver off trying to use that. So hopefully that works a little better. They had one of these in stock. I wanted two, but they only had one. That's my axle nut. They only had two of these in stock. These are just lug nuts. Those are as close as it gets to OEM. They're Acorn style. Then of course I got some AutoZone brake cleaner, and then I picked up this. I can't remember this. Okay, so this is not the fine. This is the coarse wire brush. I've never used one of these specifically, but I don't have a grinder, so I want to see what I can get done with this on this hub. Like I'll probably clean off, you know, whatever surface rust is on the outside of the rotor here. And probably just try to make it look sexy. I might clean my calipers too. My calipers are, you know, they have a lot of surface rust on them. I don't know, that's just kind of like me being picky. But nonetheless, wanted to show you guys, update you guys, and talk about what I'm going to be doing to get my car going. So, yeah, thanks for watching the video, guys. Be sure to follow my Instagram if you like EP3s. I love to take photos. I love to do cool things like that. So if that's something that you're into, please be sure to give me a follow. I'm going to do my best to put out some more content for the EP3. So I don't know how this next video is going to go. Depending on the weather conditions outside, I may or may not be able to show you guys me actually putting everything in and doing everything. In which case I might just do like a video, you know, just a slideshow with me talking about stuff. Whatever. Anyway, there's more content to come. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.